The latest and the most electrifying format of cricket T20, has given rise to numerous cricketers around the world. One such person is a stylish opening wicket-keeper batsman namely Kannur Lokesh Rahul. One batsman who can storm into a beast mode unleashing with wrath, leaving behind the eyes of bowlers and fielders gazing at the skies and leaving fans cheering with smiles on their faces. He is undoubtedly the man India would look for the upcoming T20 World Cups. But let's see the story behind this enormous powerhouse of Indian cricket. Our story begins on 18th of April 1992 in Mangalore when a professor and former director at one of India's topmost engineering institutes, the National Institute of Technology Karnataka, named Kane Lokesh, and a professor at Mangalore University, Rajeshwari, gave birth to a beautiful boy. Since his dad was an ardent fan of Sunil Gavaskar, he wanted his son to have the same name as Gavaskar's son. So, the baby boy was christened the name Kannur Lokesh Rahul. But only months later, his dad came to know that Gavaskar's son's name was Rohan and not Rahul. But since Rahul's birth certificate was already issued, the name remained Kannur Lokesh Rahul, otherwise called KL Rahul. But nobody knew the time that kid would make headlines in the future. Since both of his parents were educated professors, they wanted their child to study well. And as per the wish of their parents, KL Rahul also stood up as a brilliant student. But, at his age of 11, his dad introduced KL Rahul into cricket. And since then, cricket became his passion. He traveled around 20 kilometers from home each day for practice in a cricket academy to mold his skills. But this didn't affect his studies. On the other hand, he still remained a brilliant kid at school. He even went to his coaching classes before anyone came and would keep practicing alone. His coach Samuel Jayaraja also recognized KL Rahul's potential and kept shaping him into a white ball cricketer. His coach even made Rahul play with elder boys. And since Rahul was a small kid, his coach made him stand as a wicket-keeper. Here, Rahul displayed his unique skill of having a fast reaction time and excelled at wicket-keeping, but without any interest in it. All he wanted to be was a batsman and not a wicket-keeper. But everything you learn would be useful at one point in your lives. Similarly, KL Rahul also noticed the way balls turn and swing while standing behind the stumps, and this observation of his has enabled him to strike balls with a greater accuracy while batting and became a technical player. With such a talent, KL Rahul also grabbed a spot in the Mangalore under-13 team and soon turned into the mainstay of the team. The entire Mangalore side was dependent on KL Rahul's batting. If he doesn't play well, his team would lose. Having shouldered the entire pressure over him, Rahul played fantastic knocks. He used to hit boundaries during the first 5 balls of an over and grab a quick single in the final ball of each over and took guard most of the time after rotating strike. Even top sides like Bangalore feared KL Rahul. Nobody wanted KL Rahul to show their beast mode against them even at the under-13 level. That nightmare turned reality for Bangalore under-13 team. KL Rahul had upsetted Bangalore's apple cart with a raid on their bowlers. Moreover, there was a special man who saw the innings of KL Rahul. And that was none other than Rahul Dravid, a man behind lots of superstars we see today. Rahul Dravid was impressed by KL Rahul's performance and called him personally and gave him batting tips. Since then, KL Rahul had started rocking the under-13, under-15, under-17 and under-19 cricket, by the virtue of which, he was named in the Indian squad for the 2010 Under-19 World Cup, in which he scored 143 runs in the tournament. At the age of 18, he qualified G-Main with a rank of 1726 and got admission at India's topmost university, that is the IIT in computer science, but had rejected it in order to focus on cricket and thus moved to Bangalore to study at Jain University alongside pursuing his cricket career. Moreover, he also made his first-class debut for Karnataka in the 2010-11 season. After a brilliant knock over the next couple of years, he made his IPL debut in 2013 for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Here was where his hardships began. Chris Gayle, who was the other opener, had been in great touch that season. He even scored 175 single-handedly that season in a match. Due to this, KL Rahul had been comparatively far behind in his team. Also, as I said, KL Rahul had kept his strike most of the time for Mangalore by taking singles in the last ball of each over. That habit had continued in IPL as well, and people started trolling his game. KL Rahul scored only 20 runs in that season. RCB even dropped him for his poor form that season. He was purchased by Sunrisers in the following season, but couldn't impress much. On the other side, playing for South Zone in the final of the 2014-15 Duleep Trophy against Central Zone, Rahul scored 185 off 233 balls in the first innings and 130 off 152 in the second. He was named the player of the match in selection to the Indian Test squad for the Australian tour followed. He made his Test debut in the 2014 Boxing Day Test at the Melbourne Cricket Ground by replacing Rohit Sharma and was presented with his Test cap by Dhoni. In the same game, an Australian player made his debut. And that Australian player received lots of cheering from fans while receiving his cap. But KL Rahul on the other hand was severely booed and made fun of by the Australian crowd. Later on the same day, an Australian fan came to him with a group of people and poured bad words all over KL Rahul. Just when KL Rahul was being teased by Australian fans, it was his turn to bat. And due to this sledging by fans, he made just 3 runs in the first innings and a single in the second innings. After the game, he went back to his room and started weeping alone in depression without eating food. At that time, Anushka Sharma and Virat Kohli knocked his door. Both of them had called Rahul to come out with them to forget his depression. But Rahul had refused since Anushka and Virat had wanted to spend time with each other and he did not want to spoil their plans. But Anushka Sharma replied saying him that he had been in depression and had not even taken his meals properly. And negative thoughts would arise at such circumstances. Finally Rahul had agreed to this. On moving outside, Kohli and Anushka narrated their own personal incidents to Rahul. Kohli told that Australian fans always harass opponent players to break their confidence and induce negative thoughts into them. Even Siraj had faced this recently. Anushka too narrated incidents of her life to him. KL Rahul described it as if his own brother or sister had motivated him. Despite his poor game, he still managed to retain his place for the next Test at Sydney where he opened the innings and made 110 runs, which was also his maiden international 100 and the first of many. After this series, KL Rahul brought back his lost form. Returning home after the Test series, KL Rahul became Karnataka's first triple centurion, scoring 337 against Uttar Pradesh. He went on to score 188 in the 2014-15 Ranji Trophy final against Tamil Nadu and finished the season with an average of 93.11 in the 9 matches he played. After being a pillar for the Karnataka team in the following seasons, in 2016 he was again purchased by the same team that released him 3 years ago. And that was his second stint with Royal Challengers Bangalore. And the reason he was bought was because of his wicket-keeping. Yes, the same wicket-keeping he had hated, yet did it for his coach. Once he got into RCB, he went to De Villiers and asked him what he had to do to improve himself. De Villiers replied that he had to adapt to situations. People won't see your efforts, they see only your results. So, don't work hard, work smart. Playing technically and classy shots won't give you fame, only smashing them all over the ground will work. And as per De Villiers' words, KL Rahul began smashing balls out of the park without being so technical. And guess what, it worked. In the 2016 IPL season, he had been one of the key players in the Royal Challengers Bangalore's lineup, with a tally of 397 runs at an average of 44.11, including 4 half-centuries, which was one of the reasons for his team to reach the finals that year. In the same year, He hit few more international centuries, with the most crucial one being a 51-ball 110 against West Indies. He also fell just one run short of 200 in a test match against England at Chennai, as he was dismissed for 199. But, on the course of his international run, he became the third Indian after Raina and Rohit to hit a century in all three formats of the game. Despite this, his initial mettle was proven majorly in tests. He even hit 7 consecutive half-centuries and created a record. Analysts called him the next big thing in Indian cricket. But unfortunately, he missed the 2017 IPL due to an injury. Hence, he was released by RCB and was purchased by Kings 11 Punjab for 11 crores. And in that season, he made RCB management regret releasing him. He scored the fastest 50 in IPL history off just 14 balls in Punjab's first match against Delhi Daredevils. With 6 50s to his name in the season, he scored 659 runs off 14 innings, including a 95 not out against Rajasthan. And since that season, Rahul had moved into a completely different league. But sadly, he couldn't score a century that season despite 390-plus scores. In 2019, he reached his maiden IPL century by smashing 100 not out against Mumbai Indians. The very next season, he was named the captain of the Kings 11 Punjab. In a match against his former team RCB on 24 September 2020, he scored an unbeaten 132 off just 69 balls. With that century, he broke the record of the most runs scored by an Indian batsman in an IPL match. He also broke the record of the most runs scored by a captain in an IPL match. In the IPL 2020 season, he scored 670 runs in the 14 matches he played. He scored 5 50s and 100 with the highest score of unbeaten 132 against RCB, and also had an average of 55.83. All these numbers made him the proud recipient of the Orange Cap in IPL 2020 for scoring most runs in the tournament. Focusing on his international career, his 2018 career was exactly opposite to his IPL performances the same year. He was out of form and scored several low scores continuously. He became a troll material for meme pages. But he gave a fitting reply to trollers soon as he became the first player in T20I history to score a century while batting at number 4 position or lower. But heartbreak struck Rahul the very next year. On January 11, 2019, himself and Hardik Pandya were suspended by the BCCI due to following controversial comments they made in a show named Coffee with Karan, alongside exposing personal details like the list of hotels the Indian team stays in on national media. He even apologized on all kinds of social media and press interviews. Still, media bashed him to increase their TRP. When he was heartbroken, Anushka came to the rescue again. She told Rahul that she too was in a similar situation once. When she had performed plastic surgery, media started trolling her appearance. She added that once media speaks negative things on someone, they keep stalking them to find mistakes in them to increase their ratings. But the best thing they could do is to remain good henceforth, and never give media a chance to troll them again and ignore those comments. Since then, Rahul started working regularly on his batting skills and used to visit the gym frequently. As a result, in April 2019, he was named in India's World Cup squad and scored his maiden 100 for India in the World Cup against Sri Lanka. In December 2019, in the first T20I against the West Indies, he scored his 1000th T20I run. He was even named the vice-captain for the ODI and 2020I series of India against Australia in 2020. Rahul had a moderate ODI and T20I series against Australia. He made 77 against Australia in the second ODI and 51 in the first T20I, but failed in the rest of them. He also injured himself during practice for the Test series and was hence ruled out of the Test series, and also missed the home Test series against England in February 2021. He returned to the national side for the limited over series against England. However, he struggled with the bat. There was a dip in his form in the T20 series as he had scores of 1-0-0-14 before being dropped for the 5th T20. but he sprung back to form in the ODI series, scoring match-winning 62 and continued his form by scoring 108 runs in the second ODI. Focusing on his personal life, Rahul is unmarried, but is rumored to be in relationship with actress Aditya Shetty, as both of them have been spotted together at many instances as per reports. But none of them have confirmed it officially. Today, Rahul is one of the greatest T20I stars India has to its name, and let's hope that Rahul will steer many more games in the future for India. What we can learn from Rahul's life is that, there are good times, there are hard times, but there are never bad times. Because those bad times are the ones that make you grow. On this note, I would like to end today's video. I will see you in another video. Till then, goodbye.